Hey, everybody, it's time for another broadcast. Here we go. Welcome, everybody. Let me fix my camera. I think I'm a little blurry.
Hello.
Hey, Mikko.
Hello.
What's up, brother?
Hey, Robert. How's it going, bro? Always great here. Thank you. How are you?
Now the vision is clearer. Right? Was it Helen Keller said? Helen Keller said the only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. Boy, vision. When I got this straight, so now the vision's clear. Man, how important is vision to life? We're going to talk about that today. My good friend Mikko's on. Thank you, everybody who is online and watching this broadcast. I'd love to hear from you. If you're from Houston, Austin, if you're from Arkansas, I know I got some Arkansas folks on here that'll be joining us. If they're not already on, I'm going to be looking for you. Just share where you're from. We'd love to know. This is a worldwide broadcast, and I can prove it because we are worldwide today. I'm talking to Mikko, who is about 5,000 or 6,000 miles away over yonder in Finland. It's amazing. Technology is amazing. Social media is amazing. The way to connect with people all over the world. And what an incredible story he has. Welcome, everybody, to the broadcast. Real quick, I want to remind you that this Tuesday at 12:20 p.m., I'm going to have Bill Combs on. Bill Combs is the founder of a Austin-based company called No Time for Social. He's going to be on here. He's going to be telling us how his company will help your company gain exposure. And man, I tell you, the number one killer of business is obscurity. If you're hiding and you're afraid to get out there, hello, Austin, Texas, welcome. If you're afraid to get your message out there, then you don't want to tune in. But if you have a message, if you have a product, if you have something you can help people with, Bill Combs will help you get that message out. So join me Tuesday, 12:20. I'm honored to have him on. Bill Combs, No Time for Social. What a great day it is here in Austin, Texas. What's it like over there in Finland?
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me on the show, first of all.
Absolutely.
I'm grateful to be on board, to be able to inspire and impact more lives, hopefully through my story today. Good morning to you guys in Texas. It's, I guess it's noon there already, so days has kicked off nicely. I'm at the moment actually in Estonia, which is about 50 miles south from Finland. I call it South Helsinki. It's a small country, about 1 million population here, Northern Europe. And the time is in the evening, about 8:30 p.m. soon. So quite a time difference. But like you said, it's amazing how technology connects people today. And we have the world on our palms, on the palm of our fingers. The opportunities are amazing what we can do on our mobile these days. And it's all about, for me, being a digital nomad is so cool today. Travel the world and enjoy the wonders and experience all the amazing cultures and people, and at the same time build business online. So
outstanding.
It would be more fun.
I connected with you, Mikko, a couple of months ago on social media. Compelling story. I resonated with your story, with your message that you were proclaiming. And that's the beauty of this. You've impacted my life, in the last couple of months. And just from your ability to verbalize and your ability to put words together, to tell your story, has captivated me, has compelled me. You've had a story of being in a bad situation, in a bad spot, and you know what that's like to be in that spot. And I want you to share your story with everyone today, because I know we're going to have some tuning in now and then also in the replay that are struggling. And this broadcast is for you. Mikko has come to share his experience, share his story that could possibly create a paradigm shift, right? Turn it around for you. It all starts up here. And Mikko, I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to turn it over to you and just share your heart with our viewers today.
Thank you, Robert. So I actually just did an interview for Business FM in Helsinki a couple of hours ago, which was 40 minutes. So I'm going to have to try to do everything what I just did a couple of hours ago in half the time. So my story basically, I'm born in Finland and raised in Dubai pretty much. I lived childhood there over 10 years. And then at the age of 16, my parents got divorced. We moved back to Finland with my mom and sisters. Hi, mom and sisters, if you're listening in. And basically, I saw the entrepreneurial life. My dad has been an entrepreneur, since I was born. Basically, well, not since I was born, but since we're very early on. Let's put it that way. And if you would have asked me at age 4 or 5, like, what am I going to be when I grow up? I answered businessman. So it was kind of embedded, injected into me from a very young age. I used to enjoy going to my dad's car dealership or restaurant at young age, and just knowing that one day I'll have something of my own as well. And after my parents got divorced and we moved back to Finland, I found myself being a bit lost, not really knowing what kind of tribe do I belong to. And, the divorce and moving from a strict country to a very liberal country, Finland, was also a bit of a culture shock. And I ended up, hanging out maybe in the not most uplifting of friends. And, it was a bit too much partying and computer gaming for all through my high school years, I would say. I still knew that I wanted to do business, but I kind of was a bit like lost on how and when and what and so on. Went to college to study business, but I had no motivation. I was not the best student, if you will. I kind of got bored easily. I was not interested in theory. I was interested in practical work or learning by practicing. So and then at age 21, I got introduced to, after my first year of college, I got introduced to direct sales. And I saw for the first time someone draw me an equation where I could actually, without much risk, own my own business. And, if I invested 5 years of my time part-time, I could, have time and money freedom without any limits. And I was like, oh my God, can this really be possible? That I could have everything that, my dad had, but also have more time freedom. I missed him growing up a bit. I love him for everything he did for us, but he was quite a busy man running his businesses, and sometimes we didn't really have his presence as much as we would have liked to. So, that kind of inspired me to go on my own path, and I had some, let's say, not massive success, like a little bit of success in direct sales in my first early years. And then I immersed into personal development. I started getting, into Napoleon Hill and Dale Carnegie and all the great legends with so many amazing, books out there that will really help you, with things like mindset and success attitude and how to speak to people and how to make friends and how to attract things into your life. And, I learned first time about, masterminding and mentoring and, at a quite young age. Actually, the first book I read at age 21 was Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. It was a very heavy read, and it took me at least 1 year to digest everything. Well, I probably haven't digested everything until now, but it took me a year to digest the book. Still digesting.
It all begins with desire, right there. It hits a hook.
Yeah.
Chapter 1.
Exactly. Exactly. Basically, I had some mediocre success with it, and then after reading more self-help books, I understood that we can only have success through failure. So I decided with a couple of my friends to start like 10 companies in 2 years, because I read that, if you have 10 companies, one will always be, with a very high probability, one will be so successful that it'll cover all the losses from the other 9, or all the failures, mistakes from the other 9. And we had a good run in the first few years with different industries, from telecom to HR to marketing. I was co-founder of many of them. I invested into some of them, so I wasn't founding all of them. But I had operational roles in more than 1 or 2 ventures, if you will. I used to be, I'm still a little bit impatient, if you will. That's my weakness, which I'm working on every day. I'm aware of it. I used to be way more impatient, but 10, 15 years ago. So I got bored very easily. And it's kind of also my strength, but it's my weakness. It was my weakness more back in the days. So what happened was 2008 financial crisis, Lehman Brothers and all of that drama happened in the US. And it also wiped out, all of our companies in Finland. So in the end of the day, we had none of those 10 left. We had to declare 2 of them bankrupt. 8 of them we could shut down because there wasn't really any loans or any collectors. So we could just like nicely put them to sleep, so to say. But the 2 of them were more heavy, and I ended up having multiple 6 figures in personal loans, like over $300,000 US. That's not to mention any of the interest. So I remember being, I think the year was 2009, 2010. I remember sitting with my partner, who was a CEO of one of the companies, a telecom and like electronic appliances company we had, which had the biggest hit. That should we just maybe he had 50,000 more loans than me, and we thought maybe the best way to go about this is to like just put cement shoes on and jump off the bridge, which was not so far from that petrol station we were having coffee in.
So it was at that point. At that point,
that was kind of the low.
Devastating. Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of the lowest point. Finland is, it has a lot of great things to it, but one thing which is not so supportive is socially, it's not accepted in Finland to go through bankruptcy. The government is not forgiving at all. In the US, I think it's different. You guys, I guess you get forgiven more easily when it comes to loans and taxes and stuff like that if you've done everything correct. But in Finland, I had to pay everything together with my partner, and of course, I was having problems sleeping at the time. I was taking some sleeping pills. I was also like a little bit depressed. I was taking some pills for that. And even my own father told me, like, jump ship, come to Dubai, let's start something and you can come work for me or whatever. But something inside me kind of told me to fight back. Something told me that, we're only given as much heat as we can handle. And I had read in one of the books that, can't remember the author now, but, the bigger the dip, the bigger the expansion that comes out of it, the bigger the growth that comes out of it. And actually those 2 bankruptcies, now thinking back, Robert, were the best things that ever happened to me. They were a blessing in disguise, even though it didn't feel like at all at the time. But, that's when you really learn about yourself. Like anyone can run or lead a company and build stuff when it's all sunshine and rainbows, when there's a momentum, when there's growth, when everything seems to work, But when the dip comes, and it will, life goes in waves. What goes up eventually will come down. There's always going to be a correction after an expansion. That's just part of life. Everything goes in cycles. That's when we really have that true test of leadership and entrepreneurship. How committed are we, to that decision? I remember crying in the shower countless times. I remember thinking, my life is over. I have no choices left, no hope left. And I also, like, at the same time, I was going through, of course, when it rains, it pours sometimes. So I was going through divorce as well. So like, since I was so burned out with the bankruptcies, like 2 years of my life, 2009, 2011, were quite blurry because I wasn't sleeping well. I was stressed out. And of course, I was taking some of that stress on my wife or fiance at the time. Wasn't talking the same language. I mean, I wasn't listening to her. The communication just wasn't working. So obviously she, bailed at some point. But thanks to, and it wasn't fun being at home crying in the shower with no one, supporting me for that, the hardest parts. But luckily, thanks to the personal development I had been through, and also thanks to, I was in a way a little bit lucky, I guess, or I don't know, blessed that there was other people who were close to me who were going through similar things. Like I had partners in those companies. and we all got hit really hard. So I also had friends in other businesses who got hit, and we kind of made this peer group where we started supporting, kind of like Napoleon Hill talks about the masterminding group in his book. We kind of created this peer group where we started to support each other and, mentor each other and push and pull each other up when we most needed it. And at the same time, together with my fiance, we decided that we want to figure out what went wrong with our relationship, so we don't jump into a new one without solving the old knot. So we then decided also to go into counseling, and we got therapy both individually and together. And over the course of 6 months, we learned about love languages, we learned about communication. And it was actually very great therapy also for my business career, because for unsolving a lot of knots in my business and what had led me to those so-called failures or, bankruptcies. And thanks to the great counseling and a will to, solve things and to grow, because I think, life is all about growth, and that's what brings happiness ultimately. When you step out of the comfort zone and, want to expand it, we then actually got to get back together with my fiance. And, today, 10 years later, we're living the most beautiful life, traveling the world with 2 beautiful boys, and, living the life of my dreams, owning my own time and business, and having inner freedom, having peace of mind. I think that's the golden currency of the day, to have inner freedom. When you're happy on your journey, that's when all the external success and the material success also follows, the financial freedom, so to say. Back in the days, I was chasing financial freedom, thinking when I get that, I'll be happy. Then I'll have this. Then I'll give you more time. Then I'll take you to, buy that house or whatever, do that, go on that holiday, or, spend more time with you. But now it's the opposite. It's inner freedom, loving the journey, and then things just start to come together, and you start manifesting, attracting the right kind of circumstance and people in your life. Like you, for example, Robert, are part of that manifestation, my friend.
Oh, wow.
And
I've heard 3 things here. I'm glad to have Angela Lynn from Houston on. I think I saw Pat Manicom. Welcome, guys. Angela said, wow, the bigger the dip, the bigger the rise. It's powerful. Angela, I'd love for you to meet Mikko. Maybe y'all can connect on social media. But I'm hearing 3 things. 1, preparing yourself. You prepared yourself before the fall started, before the crisis. And that preparation gave you grit. And you found solitude, peace of mind in the counsel of people. We cannot do this alone, folks. So Absolutely. The Bible even says, in the counsel of many, there is safety. It's a we, it's together. If you're struggling out there, you cannot do this alone. You have to have help. You have to have other voices, other people reaching into your life and speaking life to you. And that's what happened to Mikko at the most desperate time in his life. He prepared, it built grit and tenacity, and he gathered himself around people that could lift him up and support him. And your story is like so many people. And it's always the same pattern. It's always the same answers too, right? What a powerful story. What a powerful story. So, sorry, I just wanted to...
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and one thing what I want to say also is that, our schooling system in many ways has gone wrong by, setting us to failure by, of course, like there are also exceptions to the rule, and there are building more and more modern schools which understand about like Montessori way of teaching or progressive way of learning,
yes,
a creative way of learning. But unfortunately, at least the school that I went to in Dubai was very academic, and there was like 2 paths. You've got failure this way and you've got success that way. If you fail, it's hard to have success after that, but that's actually completely incorrect. It's actually, you can only get to success through the failure. That's when you learn. It's all about, try, test, fail, modify, try, plan, do, check, adjust, plan, do, check, adjust, however you want to put it. And we should all have like a license to fail, The more failures, the more learnings. And like I said, like I've never learned more about myself, about life, about business when I was at those lowest points. But yeah, definitely a support network and personal development. I was watching many months on YouTube every morning, like motivational videos, and there wasn't podcast back then, but listening to different audios and reading books on people who like bios, like Richard Branson and guys like that who've been through like crazy hardships. Like my few $100,000 was nothing compared to so many others have persevered through. And it all boils down to zooming out, no matter what the situation, no matter what the problem, if you zoom out of it, if you like think of your life in 2029 or 2030, hopefully most of us are going to wake up somewhere on the 3rd of May 2029, and the problem that you have today is going to be insignificant. No matter how big it seems today, 10 years from now, it's going to be tiny. You can't even see it on the scale, So thinking long-term, zooming out, thinking really going into the big picture of things. And then I would say that two main characteristics that a successful entrepreneur needs to build is tenacity, which I think is the combination of consistency and perseverance, and that all comes down to the decision when you have made a committed decision that you're going to, like, for example, the reason what got me in the game was, I would say, significance. I used to be more motivated maybe by external significance, by getting praise from others, recognition from others, starting from my own father. But it kind of also, over the years, over the personal development years, has evolved into internal significance, like proving to yourself. How about being proud of yourself? Start from that. And that's totally fine. That's totally great to be. And we all should be so proud of all the achievements that we've had, big or small. And when we start being grateful of all of those achievements, which is again an internal significance, grateful for all those even small achievements every single day, that builds our confidence. When we're grateful for things in our family, our career, our personal life, our business life, ourselves, these are the things I was practicing every day while I was going through those dips, and looking at myself in the mirror every morning and telling myself, I love you, 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 I love you. I'm sorry, I forgive you, thank you. Like, just giving myself positive and forgiveness so I could go forward, and thanking that I'm, even though I had the worst situation financially, I was still healthy. I had a house over my head, even though I had to call collectors every week and cry to them on the phone to not seize my property. They did take my car, but I was able to save my property. But I somehow turned that into a hunger to just fight back, to prove to myself that if I can cross this mountain, of adversity. And someone once said that adversity is actually the canvas upon which you paint your greatness. If you can pass that mountain of adversity, you paint your greatness. You're unstoppable. You become a legend. Nobody can stop you then. And the world is open for opportunities. And what kind of teachings you can impact people. So now my mission is to inspire people through my story. That anything is possible if you just find the right kind of mentors, right kind of people, and program the right kind of mindset and belief system. So tenacity together with patience. Patience has been my biggest weakness, and that's why I have an accountability partner or two who I'm in touch with once a week or once every 2 weeks to keep me even today, even though I've had great success in the last few years. I've been very grateful blessed with my recent businesses. But I still have an accountability partner to keep me on track, because I tend to lose my focus if I don't have that, someone checking up on my neck. We call it check up from the neck up. So it's very, very important to have people around you who care about you, who want to see you win, who can help you just check where you're at and how you can go forward, and check out your own schedule. And
Powerful, powerful, man. What you just gave us is the bones, is the tools to live an extraordinary life. We all speak the same language. You may say it differently, but it comes down to a couple of things: gratitude, gratitude with feeling. And that gratitude builds faith. More faith for the battle. The bigger the battle, the stronger the faith you can have through gratitude. Right?
You said it.
That's powerful. Man, what a great story. If you're watching the broadcast, hey, Harlan, so glad you're on, man. You are absolutely right. He says to love yourself before you. It's so important to love yourself before you can truly love others. And that's what you were saying, Mikko. It's an inside job, right? Start with loving others. Thanks for joining, Harlan. Good to see you, my brother. Mikko, how can people get a hold of you if they want to know more about what you do in Finland and your work and what you can do to help others pull people out of the pit, just like you were in, and give them help them and point them in the right direction. Give them the compass that's pointing them in the right direction. How can people get a hold of you?
Thank you. So I would say that the best platform is Facebook. So if you just search my name, my account is totally public, and I still have a few spots left for new friends. So you can just search my name, Mikko, Mikko Jarrah, Jarrah, and send me a message, and let's connect and see how we can help each other.
Awesome, man.
If you need mentorship, coaching, anything, I'm here for you.
I just had this wild idea. I told you I want you to meet Angela. She lives in Houston, Texas. Maybe we can put together a program where there's 3 screens. There's me, you, and Angela, because Angela's story is similar. Her message is similar to yours, and she's on the broadcast. That would be awesome. So thank you so much again, brother. Wow, great story. Great story. I feel much better. I feel faith, and I feel like the things that I'm doing in my life, you have confirmed them that it works. It works if you work it, right?
100%.
There's 1,000 reasons for failure, but there's never a good reason. Failures are never final unless you want them to be. And failures are the platform that could catapult you into an extraordinary life. So do not give up. Keep looking up, because that's where it's at. Thank you, Mikko. I'll see you next time, brother. Thank you, everyone, for joining, whether you're on live or rebroadcast. Share this message with people. We would love for you to do that, because this is a message of hope. This is a message that people need to hear in this hour that we're in. So please share this with your friends and family. And so that's it. We'll see you next time. I'll see you Tuesday. I'll have Bill Combs on from No Time for Social. Thanks again, Mikko. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Robert. Have a great day. Ciao.